Hello again, YouTube. I intended to make a video long before now, but I've had a terrible, terrible cold. Anyway, I wanted to make this video about seeds, and my next one probably will be about that, but I had some interesting things happen to me this week. I was, let's just say the county determined that I needed to perform community service. I had a minor, I considered it minor traffic violation that I decided to fight. Probably not a good idea. Anyway, they decided I needed to perform some community service in lieu of my fine. The interesting part is that I was sent to a facility that deals with handicapped people, doing different services for them, trying to find them jobs, what have you. And one of the jobs that I was given, one of the menial tasks, was to purge some files that they had and, take them out of binders and box them up to put in their basement storage or whatever. And it's really kind of interesting because one would think, first of all, that if you're performing community service, they wouldn't put you in the personnel section. Anyway, they did. And, it's boring work, so you can't help but kind of start reading what you're seeing. And it just so happens, you know how things happen in sequences, things that words you never heard before, all of a sudden you hear them 3 times, whatever. Well, to digress a little bit, I had been watching a YouTube video just that morning, and unfortunately I didn't pay much attention to who the user was or what have you, because I didn't know that later on it would be important. But they mentioned, and at this point I have to put my glasses on, they mentioned United Healthcare as related, linked with the AARP, and a man named Simon Stevens, who I guess is the bigwig, the CEO now with United Healthcare. And according to this video, was some guy over in England, the health minister in England or something under Tony Blair, and, supposedly a eugenicist. Anyway, I watched it, whatever. Well, I'm purging these files, and it catches my attention. Let me digress again a little bit more. These files are for people who are retarded or mildly retarded. And I was reading a little bit about this one file of this one man, and it was explaining that, he really didn't, he was mildly retarded and had trouble with different things, was going for some surgery, didn't understand why he was there, blah, blah, blah. The point of it being that he really didn't have a full grip on what was going on. Well, I noticed that he was enrolled with the AARP. And I thought to myself, well, that's odd. Why would this person be with the AARP? And again, I didn't think much of it. And I thought, well, maybe it's because he gets some kind of a discount on medication or what have you. He was on a lot of medication. And then in his file also popped up this United Healthcare for his insurance. And I just said, doink, I just saw that name. Okay. So it grabbed my attention, but it didn't, it just grabbed my attention. So I go on to the next file, and I'm purging that file. Again, a mildly retarded person, a person who can work, but who has a lot of issues and what have you. And these are people in assisted living. They don't function high enough that they can live on their own. So I'm purging this file, and what comes out but a voter registration card. And oh my goodness, surprise, surprise, a registered Democrat. Well, again, it grabs my attention, but oh well, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm going through purging the rest of the file, gee, is that what they do? Register all these people as Democrats and get their votes? So then the next file I come across was the most interesting because it's a person that I happen to know in the community who happens to work for a local grocery store. Excuse me, this cold. He's worked at this grocery store for at least 20 years that I know of, and probably before that. And I'm looking at his file a little more closely because I know him, and I'm curious. What can I say? Well, wouldn't you know, he has a voter registration card also, and he's also a registered Democrat. What was more interesting to me was they had all the pay stubs for all the time he's worked at this grocery store. This is a person who has worked 40 hours a week, always shows up, never calls in sick. After 20 years with this grocery store, he is still only making $9.47 an hour. Alright, that's bad, that's not fair. The worst part, and the part that really pissed me off, was when I discovered he belongs to their union. And guess what? They charge him the union dues. So my question is twofold, and I'm curious to see the response. Is his union doing anything for him if after 20 years of 40-hour weeks he is still only making $9.47 an hour, and by the way, receiving no health care through them? My second question is, should people who are mentally compromised enough that they cannot live on their own and must live in a group home situation, should they be registered to vote? Can they understand what they're voting for and what the issues are? Now, part of me feels that someone who works 40 hours a week deserves a vote. But the other part of me wonders, who's leading them down this path? Who's influencing them? Are they going to the polls to vote, I wonder? Do they do an absentee ballot? And I just don't know. I found it kind of amazing. Now granted, these were only 3 files, but it makes me think, whoa, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So, I'm curious about everyone else's views on this subject, how you feel about it. I hope my next post is going to be about seeds. I want to talk about pre-seeds, saving seeds, things like that. Hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.